Hi, audience. We have Mr. Archit Pahwa with us today at the studio, who has done his MBA from Faculty of Management Studies, Delhi University, and he has been working as a consultant with Accenture Strategy. So, welcome to Education View 360, Archit.
Thank you for having me, ma'am. A pleasure.
Right, Archit. So, please tell our students how to handle a case interview.
I think it would be nice for the audience for me to give them a quick overview of what a consulting case would look like and how exactly this vague term of structuring would actually mean. So
Right.
allow me to screen share. Yes. So this is actually case in point, which is generally seen as the main book which people read up before going for any kind of consulting interview. So over here we have different types of structures and frameworks which could be leveraged to crack a case interview. Now these are not exactly usable at any point of time, but you can always modify your frameworks and structures to go for an interview. So let's say you have a case interview, a client case, which is based on entering a new market. And then you've been asked to look at the different factors which would be involved in entering a new market. So within that, you can leverage this framework which is here. And you could look at current market being there are three factors within the current market that you would probably want to look at, which would be how the current market is structured in terms of the number of players that are there, the market share of the players, what is the kind of product which is going around in the current market in terms of the product differentiation, and if there are any barriers to entry, be it regulatory barriers or any other barriers. And then you take the decision of whether you are entering the market or not. It could be based on either a yes or a no. And if it's a yes, then how would you exactly enter the market? Then within that, you break down the problem even further, and you could start from scratch, have an acquisition or a joint venture. So these are some of the aspects that you need to think through. Always subdivide the problem into finer and more minute aspects, which make it more readable and understandable for the interviewer. And this is the aspect of problem solving. And as ma'am, you pointed out, the most important aspect, another aspect, is to communicate the whole thing to the interviewer very well, because in consulting there are always case teams which are allocated to a project. So it will generally be in the form of one partner, one senior manager, and a bunch of consultants and analysts working together to solve the problem. It's a lot about brainstorming and design thinking. So whenever you're given this form of problem, whether it is entering a new market or profit maximization, you always break down the problem. If it is profit maximization, you might want to break it down into revenues and costs and look at the different revenues and costs and figure out which is that lever that you would want to figure out and use it for your advantage so that the profit could actually be maximized.
Right, right. Great. Thank you so much for your insights, Archit, and thank you for sparing your valuable time.